Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all dear friends. Firstly, I have to explain that project regarding creation of political awareness not only here in subcontinent but in rest of the developing world for sake of peace is purely financed by me. And I do take certain voices into consideration, especially of peace activists here in subcontinent. They are very sincere people and they really want peace in the world. In nuclear age, I think we must think in terms of extending fundamental human rights as envisaged in UN Charter to 8 billion people of the world so that any conflict can be avoided in case of revolutions in different countries. Situation here in subcontinent, especially in nuclear India, which is having constitution guaranteeing fundamental rights to the people, and India is also signatory of UN Charter as UN member country, which also guarantees fundamental human rights of the people. People in Indian occupied Kashmir are suffering so much, and from last 182 or 81 days they are under curfew in snowy winter, and obviously are suffering from food shortages and shortages of medicines. They are all confined in their homes, so whatever the sources are communicating to me, the situation is so bad. Well, in 21st century, civilized people of the world cannot even think in terms of committing such atrocities as are being committed by Indian army in Indian occupied Kashmir. Not only in Indian occupied Kashmir, but people of Manipur, Nagaland and Mizoram, these are Indian states, people are suffering so much because of coercive policies of Indian government there. And the problem of Kashmir is, for civilized people, is not a problem at all. I mean, extending right of self-determination is a normal attitude of any civilized nation to its people or to disputed territories. Once UN member countries do agree upon this, and UN General Assembly through resolution had prescribed plebiscite for Indian occupied Kashmir, for the whole of Kashmir, so that people of Kashmir can determine their will through ballot whether they want to join India or Pakistan, or they want to remain independent of both these federations. So people living in developed countries cannot even think of doing things which are happening there in Kashmir, especially in Indian occupied Kashmir. And I can only hope and pray for the salvation of the people of Kashmir and for their freedom. In nuclear age, no military adventure is possible. UN cannot intervene militarily to liberate people of Kashmir. India is a nuclear country, and nobody else can take the risk of inviting nuclear escalation by declaring war on India, because they have encaged people of 80 million people of Kashmir and are doing so many bad things with them: killings, loot, arson, rape is order of the day there, torture of youth, and the racist regime ruling India is bent upon doing all this. Well, we all know why all this is happening here in subcontinent. We all know that ignorance paves the way for chaos and all sort of atrocities. Not much was spent on education, both in Pakistan and India. After their independent existence as two independent nations, which came into being in 1947. Even during the British era, people here, now known as Pakistan, were so civilized that in 1946, in a province where I am based and which is my home province as well, previously known as Northwest Frontier Province, and now it is known as Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Referendum was held on a question whether Northwest Frontier Province people of Northwest Frontier Province are willing to join Pakistan or feel like annexing themselves with India, though there was no geographical proximity of Northwest Frontier Province with India. But that referendum was held and people, they had opted for annexation with Pakistan. So we were civilized under British rule. In 1946, Britishers were still here as colonial rulers of subcontinent. And after their departure, you see that situation which now we see in Indian occupied Kashmir, then you can easily deduce that savage inside, that savage creature inside every human, every ruling human in India is now out, and savagery can be witnessed in Indian occupied Kashmir at mass scale. So my effort to create awareness regarding fundamental human rights guaranteed by constitutions of Pakistan and India and UN Charter as well, that is an effort to create good humans whom can also create consensus on extension of fundamental human rights to each other within Pakistan, within India, and those whom can realize that both Pakistan and India, constitutionally speaking, are modern welfare states, and leadership is bound to work for achievement of this objective of creation of a modern welfare state. Now, traditional politicians and political parties during past 70 years, both in India and Pakistan, they were denying fundamental rights to the people, and written evidence of all this is there in history of both India and Pakistan. Elected rulers had suspended fundamental human rights of the people of Pakistan and India as well. So that simply means that traditional politicians and political parties are under fascist and Nazi influences, and that was outcome of close relationship of Indian Liberation Army with Hitler. Indian Liberation Army was led by Subhash Chandra Bose and was trained by officers of Hitler's army to fight against the allies led by Great Britain during Second World War. So their influences are there and they are dominant, though they are in minority, but they are organized, and they take cover of religion as well. RSS is basically a racist and fascist entity now ruling India through its partner BJP. They are in power there in India, and they are just ignoring fundamental human rights to the people of India at large and in general, and specifically they are ignoring fundamental human rights of the people of Indian occupied Kashmir. In Pakistan, situation is bit improving with the change of ruling elite. First time in history of Pakistan, a really educated elite, they are in power now here, and things are moving towards better. Sometimes some problems do appear when complaints were launched by many people that how a matriculate education minister can improve situation here of educational institutions. So I don't have any answers for such questions except that such attempts are again tantamount to leading people towards ignorance-based chaos. So obviously reform is needed here. There is no doubt about sincerity and ability of our educated Prime Minister, and I think he will improve the situation here. Situation is somewhat funny here in Pakistan because since long we all were highlighting, as journalists, we are highlighting that we have 13 gold mines in Balochistan, we have oil, we have gas reserve, we have everything. So why our people are so poor and why everything is so bad shape? And I think our Prime Minister has realized all that and he is taking some steps to improve the situation. Governments, they do not take long to improve the situation. Say for example, energy sector is witnessing energy crisis. If government is willing to resolve that, they can just utilize wind energy as most clean and cheap source of energy and can resolve that crisis within a month or two. Installation of wind energy machines that are big fans, you see, they can be installed within weeks and everything will be fine here. Pakistan is having windy areas all around and soon within 2-3 months there will be plenty of energy all around it. Even our vehicles will be running on electricity as it is so in Mexico, which is also a developing country. So if there is a will, there is a way. And luckily our Prime Minister has started one project to achieve electricity through wind energy. So if we can initiate one, he can initiate 10 more projects like that to provide cheap electricity to the people and clean energy to the industry. So let's see what will he do, but he has started one project at least. And don't make me say anything about those previous regimes whom were unwilling to do all this and were still sticking to a very costly method of producing energy. And what else was brought before me during past few days? I must thank all of you for the feedback that in Pakistan as well, consensus regarding extension of fundamental human rights to all is still being needed. And though leadership whether of ruling party or of opposition, both are under oath to extend fundamental human rights not only to each other but to the whole population of Pakistan. And no matter whosoever is in power, state institutions will be utilized to protect the humans, to protect their fundamental human rights. But practices in the past were very different, and state institutions, intelligence agencies, law enforcing agencies were used to harass not only the public but political opponents as well. So as long as such practices do prevail here, we cannot claim that we have achieved a state which is guaranteed, that welfare state which is guaranteed by our constitution. So it is always a teamwork. Once opposition and government and rest of the society agrees to extend fundamental human rights to each other, then everything will be fine. And that comes with awareness, you see. And awareness comes through written words, through spoken words, through academia. And I hope in coming few months situation will be much better here in subcontinent. Plebiscite in Indian occupied Kashmir is devised method for people of Kashmir by UN General Assembly, and all civilized people, they believe in such practices. They believe in extension of fundamental human rights to each other. They believe in respect of right of self-determination of all. So I hope Indian leadership will also realize that they are doing something else and their constitution is saying something else. I have heard certain voices in India that ruling party wants to promote its Hinduism agenda and they want to change the constitution of India as well. I hope whatever the changes will be in the constitution, fundamental rights of the people will remain intact as guaranteed by the constitution of India. And one issue was raised for me in terms of extension of equal rights amendment in United States of America. So unlike India and Pakistan where constitution can be amended easily, only if geographical boundaries of a state are going to be changed through constitutional amendment, then that specific state or province will be, their assembly will be consulted for ratification. But for all other amendments, 2/3 majority is enough, and all amendments can be easily made in beautiful Federation of Pakistan and in India as well. But in United States of America, to make amendment in constitution, ratification from 38 states is needed. That is the spirit of federalism. You see, you have to create consensus, you have to take people along with you, whatever change you want to make in constitution. So that is the good way of doing things, and that is causing frustration among female population of United States of America. And some people are raising the issue that time bar was, that equal rights amendment was initiated in 1920 probably, and time bar was there that shall be ratified till 1982, till year 1982. So you see, its status is to be decided by US judiciary, because the time bar, status of time bar is supposed to be under judicial review. Judges can decide better about it, and of US judiciary. I think that that time bar was put in good faith to expedite the extension of fundamental human rights, equal rights to the female section of population in the United States of America. So I think that time bar was in good faith, and even afterwards, if 38 states agree to uh, ratify that Equal Rights Amendment, that will be good for the future of mother of all federations and for the present as well. I wish all the best to the ladies of United States of America, and I hope that if there is a time bar, and that is an issue that will be amicably resolved by judicial through their power of judicial review, and ladies there will get equal rights soon. I wish all the best to all of you, and good luck as well.